Well, hey everybody, Jeff Williams here with SIDEWALKS.com. Yeah, I know what we're doing today. Well, I'm in a secret location. I can't really tell you where we're at, but if you look it up on the top of it, it's called the Lucky Strike Mine. Ooh, this was a big producer, let me tell you. And it was so big, that's right, I brought gold bug too. And look at this, this is the old workman's shack right here. You can see where they had all their tools and everything hanging up in here. And you can see there's a big heavy duty bench there. And man, they had air hoses. I see dynamite fuse all over the place. Wow, and then you know the neat thing about this place is it hasn't been vandalized. That's why I'm not telling you where it's at. Because all the stuff is still here. And there's even ore carts in the mine. I might show you where that's at too if you're real good. So anyway, we're gonna head into a couple of these adits over here, and then I'm gonna take you down in a really big one because I know that's what you want to see, huh? So you know what I'm gonna say, huh? Of course he knows what I'm gonna say. So come on, let's go. Woo, look at the size of this portal. Man, it's cold too. You wanna know why? Well, you got an ass and you don't fit belong in there, fool. All right, we're gonna go inside. Now remember, don't do this at home, because if there's something living in there, it ain't gonna be too happy. Science McGee!
You stay the hell out of my mind, laddie.
Like I said, this is primarily a silver mine, but there's also gold too as a secondary element. As you know, I don't do silver. So you know what I'm gonna say, huh? So come on, let's go! Alright! Okay, what am I showing you? Well, I think this is important for you to see. Now look at this, I keep stressing this and I hope you guys get it. I've got two different types of rocks here that have come together. And this is why they started driving this adit in here. I've got this, it looks like porphyry granite. And then I've got this heavily fractured limestone over here on the other side. And you can see where they come together. I've got this hanging wall. And then of course I got a footwall over here that's all crushed and altered. And you can see the mineralization there, see that? Well, what they were doing is, they were following this guy along, and they were hoping that the mineralization in these contact zones would start to increase. So that's usually what mines will do, is they'll either find a deposit high on the hill like an outcropping and get underneath it with an adit, or they'll find a contact zone and they'll come in low and follow it. And if it looks like it gets promising and more mineralization, then they'll start open cut stoping all the way up. And that's what it looks like they did here. So we're going to go on back and take a look around. And I can feel that fresh air, so I know that one of the stopes has popped out. And I'm curious to see about the mineralization, because if they were finding high grade silver in here with traces of gold, I'm wondering if I can get some pockets of limonite and crush it and get the gold out of that. So anyway, we're going to run down this haulage tunnel and see what we can find. Or see what can find us. Now look at this. See this? Once again, I got one type of rock here. It's a solid limestone. You see that? That ain't going nowhere. And then here you see this fractured, altered rock. And see all the blacks and reds in there? I mean, there's a lot of iron in there. That's a good sign. But the bad news is this was a predominant silver mine, so I'm not too excited. But you can see they got excited here when they saw that. And they opened this little cavity up, but obviously it didn't play out. So what they do, they said, hey, Johnson, you go left, I'll go right, and I'll get to the mother lode before you. Look at that. I got some limonite. Look at that, ain't that pretty? See that? Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that that's gold bearing limonite, but you know, I'm going to be sampling the heck out of that, since the USGS report did say that there was small amounts of gold coming out of here. And usually you're going to find, this is all limestone, you're going to find gold wherever you got an intrusion deposit. And like I said, I saw diorite back there, or granite diorite. And so I'm going to take chip samples. Look at that. Ooh, look at that one right there. See that? See how soft that is? Oh man, I bet you there's gold in there for sure. So I'm taking that. You can't have none. And don't ask me where it's at either, because I'm not going to tell you. Now you got to be careful when you get close to an open port like this, because something might fall on your little head. Or something might be sitting here waiting for you to come in. Alright, let's take a look, shall we? Wow, I got nice looking pockets everywhere. Oh, that looks like cinnabar. So I don't know if I want to mess with him. But I got copper staining. Ooh, they blasted the heck out of that one. They opened this chamber up all the way to the surface. Look at that. Man, I'm going to sample the heck out of this. You better believe it. That's right. They were following that seam all the way up. See that seam? Ooh, yeah. Ain't that pretty? Right there in that contact zone. Ooh, I hate to fall down that bunker. You got to be careful because there might be something up there ready to come down. So it's not good to stand underneath these things. Okay, what are you? Ooh, that's why you always bring a gold bug down into a mine. Now I got a target right here. Hear that? So I'm gonna chip him out and see what I can get. Oh, hear that? Yeah! All right, let's try the signal again. Oh man, I'll tell you what. Still goes. Right there, that's one. Got most of that one. Right in there. Oh yeah. How about up in here? I hope not, because I really don't want to get up in there. Okay. Okay. So that little pocket right there. Now, I can't emphasize this enough. Eye protection. I should be wearing a mask and ear protection. But if you're going to be working in any of these mines, safety first. I can't emphasize that enough. I think they would, yeah, they would fire it up. And there's another one, they'd hang the lantern right up there. Look at that, see that? Now, an interesting thing about drilling, oh, see the limestone? We just came into this beautiful look and see how it's layered, all these bedding planes in there?
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
And then this.
Oh yeah, these are shear zones.
Is it right?
You always get shear zones around faulting. There's a little mineralization right there, see that? But yeah, I always see these, I used to wonder, how the heck were these made? That's all shearing. Because anytime the earth moves, remember I told you, tectonic movements. Now you can get what's called a shear zone deposit, where you got mineralization in one rock and not the other, and you do this, and enough force will actually force the minerals to secrete out of one, and then form a layer in between the two contact zones. So remember, contact zones are so important. If you remember anything, remember contact zones of different rock types is where your mineralization is going to be. So, but yeah, they would load these holes. Now, when you're drilling and blasting, an interesting thing is you've got to, every time you do a drill pattern, you've got to drill out. So, and I'll explain what I mean. So these guys, they would drill up and out like this, and then down. And the reason why is because if you drill straight, the next hole is going to be a little bit smaller, next hole is going to be a little bit smaller, next hole is going to be, until it's only this wide. So each time you drill, you've got to drill at a slight angle out, and it'll blast in, and that's why some tunnels, they have this kind of wave look in them, because each blast makes it out and then in, out then in. So this one's not as defined, but I've seen some where you can actually see the wave pattern. But that's why you see these guys going up, because they're going to drill up on each one. And each time they drill, they're going to blast out. So this is where the face used to be right there. and they blast it out from here to here. You can see where the wave is. See it? Wave goes up, down, up, down, up. See what I mean? So all that work, and they're only going to get, what, 5 feet, which is standard back then. Today it's 9 to 12 feet, depending on what rods they're using, drilling rods. So now you know. That's a lot of work to move 5 to 6 feet. Yeah, this is exactly why it's so cold. It's because we're on top of a water table right now. Right there's the top of the water table. See that where the seepage is? It's coming in through the limestone. And the air is blowing through. So I know I've got an opening back there somewhere. It's probably through an open stope that surfaces. And as that air blows over here, it's like a giant swamp cooler. And it blows over this moist ground and blows out the other end. That's why it's actually cooler than 65. It feels like it's about 55 in here, but it feels really good. Now you see this other pipe right here? You're probably wondering, Jeff, how come you got 3 pipes? I see a big pipe, a medium-sized pipe, and a little baby pipe. Well, this big pipe is an air ventilation pipe, and they'd hang this thing by the ceiling. Now, when they shut the mines down, they pull the vent pipes out because they can use it in other mines. And this big honker right here is an air compressor pipe. That's what they run the pneumatic drills, the jack legs, things like that. Now you're thinking, what's this little bitty baby pipe for over here on the side? Well, the bitty baby pipe is for water, for the water flush drill systems. So when they're drilling, they don't have a problem. Because you get silicosis like they did at Delmar. All right, let's keep going. I thought I heard something back there. I don't see any footprints, but you never know. This is a classic example of flowstone. I want you to see this. Now, I've been in a lot of caves. Over millions of years, this flowstone will create stalactites and stalagmites, and even all different types of flow formations. What happens is the water's carrying little tiny itty-bitty ions of mineralization, and they deposit over the surface. And when they do that, they start to build outward. And that's why it has this weird kind of melted wax look to it. They call that flowstone. That's usually where they get it. They want it off the ground and away from the miners. But the only thing they keep is this big old honking air pipe down on the ground. But we're going to go on back and see what else is back there. Because I thought I saw something moving back there. And it's probably got my gold. It's probably Sasquatch. So you know what I'm going to say, huh? So come on, let's go. I see footprints. I got ooh, that's nice. You stand up straight in here. Now I got a little split right here. It looks like a junction. Now, a lot of times you'll see these in the mines. What it means is either A, they're starting to run a drift over here or a cross cut, and they're just starting to work on it, or they have sometimes a side run, what they call a side runner, and they put ore carts over here so they can take the full ones out and then park empty ones here, and then when the full ones go, then they can drive the empty ones in right after it, and that way you get a chain going. So I'm not exactly sure if they're starting to run a cross cut or a drift, or if they're creating a parking lot. All right, so what do I got besides an arm full of trouble? I'm gonna stick my arm down. Now, I don't recommend you people at home doing this. Don't be sticking your hand in a hole you don't know nothing about. There's something down here. No, I'm just kidding. Ooh, that's a pretty one. Look at that. Look at that. I bet you that sucker goes down real far. You can tell that there's water in this limestone. Look at that. See that? Now this is a little tiny vug right here. Now, if this was filled with gold, you'd see me doing the Walter Houston dance. I want you to get a good look at that. See that? See if I can get my light on it. Ooh, that's a nice, pretty piece of crystalline quartz. So I'm gonna mine some of this out and take it back with me.
Here, let me get your legs.
I've actually done that before.
We're gonna do it in a minute.
Wow.
Look at that.
It looks like sugar quartz.
Yeah. Wow, that's heavy.
This is like sugar quartz. I'm gonna get some of this dirt out of the hole. Well, hey! So what I'll do is I'll put it on the ground, and that way you can hand sort it, and we don't fill the bucket up with waste material.
All right.
And then you can just pick out the ones you like. Sound good? Sounds good. Ooh, what you got down there? All right, I got myself a little bug. And somebody's been down there on their belly. And guess what? That means I gotta get down there too on my belly. Because nobody goes down a hole in the ground unless there's something down there. And you know me, I gotta know. And I'm not too thrilled about that wood. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. It goes down another. Oh, that's pretty. Look at that. It goes down another 5 feet, and there's popcorn everywhere. I don't like the fact that somebody's got wood down in here. Because you know what happens when wood starts to decompose. Look at that. Look at that. It's a little soft too. Ah. Oh yeah, look at that bug. Look at that bug. All right, so I'm gonna go down inside and see if I can chip out some more specimens and samples. And if I'm lucky, I'll get something that's showroom quality. So you know what I'm gonna say, huh? No, you don't. You think you know, but you don't know nothing. Don't try this at home, kids. Do you know what I'm gonna say? You don't. So come on, let's go.